Hello everybody and welcome back to Sky Saga Alpha 6! We are here on my home island and it is time for another tutorial. So this week we're actually going to be talking about beginners, hints and tips for Sky Saga Alpha 6 because there's been a lot of new changes and there's a lot of new people coming in, so I thought it would be about time to do up a bit of a tutorial just for beginners, just for some things that I think are absolutely essential for Sky Saga. So these are going to come in 4 categories: adventuring, combat, materials and material gathering, building, and then that is it. Every single adventure you come across in Sky Saga Alpha 6 will have 3 landmarks in it. So it will have 2 secondary landmarks. These are very short, usually containing quite a number of chests, but they don't have anywhere to go. They are just 2 buildings or 2 sets of structures that usually have one large chest somewhere hidden amongst all of them. And then you'll also find a main structure. Now this structure is usually typically a little bit larger than the 2 side structures, and it also contains a drop down into the boss dungeon underneath. It is inside this dungeon that is in underneath the main location that you will find the portal, and then also probably a boss and a boss chest, which is where all of the loot is, or a lot of the loot is, for the world that you are currently in. Water does remove some fall damage, but it does not remove all fall damage. If you hit the bottom, you will still take some fall damage. Admittedly, a little bit less than if you hadn't jumped into water, but if you do manage to hit the bottom, you will take a little bit of damage. If you find yourself struggling for armor to get through adventures, you can always come here to the Treasure Amber Expert, who is right behind the Explorers Guild in the Social Hub. And if you come into here, go down to shop at the bottom, and then you can buy yourself some Gladiator Treasure Ambers. Now if you buy one of these, and then give it to him, he will break it open and give you back some armor. Now you won't be able to repair this armor, but you can use it for the time being. And of course this stuff is actually relatively cheap, so it's a pretty good way of getting new weapons and, well, new armor pieces, just like that. When you get into a combat situation, a jump attack deals a lot more damage than just a regular attack. So there's a jump attack, and there is one attack. Now, jump attacks also have the ability to cause a stun effect, just like that, meaning that your opponent is knocked out for longer, and you can also get in and do a little bit more damage as well. When you're fighting a group of enemies, it is quite wise to keep moving around, especially when the group is relatively large, because often the enemies will hit each other when they're attempting to hit you, and all you need to do is circle around the outside and they will change their target focus and accidentally hit each other rather than hitting you. When you have taken some damage, if you eat some food, you will actually start regaining that health a little bit faster. When you're outside of combat, your health regenerates very slowly, as you can see down at the bottom right now. But if I eat the mushrooms, I'm going to get a small health increase and very quickly, and then if I eat some cooked meat, I get a very, very large health increase very, very quickly. Meat can be cooked to give more health by cooking it in a metal cauldron, and all you need to do to make one of those is to put in 16 metal chunks. When facing a harder challenge or a harder enemy, distance can be quite important. Now you can use jump attacks, as mentioned before, to give a little bit of knockback, especially with a heavier weapon, or you can use middle click to kick an enemy away from you. This is good for a kind of quick moment of relief, as you can then run away from that enemy and get yourself as far away as you need to be to eat food or whatever it is you need to get yourself ready to go back in and finish off the fight. When up against a ranged opponent, make sure you move side to side to make sure that the shots can't hit you straight on, and then you can move in pretty slowly and hit them. However, when you're fighting a ranged opponent, particularly a ranged opponent with a lot of health, be sure to watch your stamina, as you need to make sure you're going to have enough to run away if you do get yourself into trouble. When looking for materials, it's important to search for caves in whatever world you're in. All caves will be marked out with these stalactites, just like this, So as you can see, here is two caves almost intersecting. Now inside a cave you're often going to find iron, or the base metal for the biome that you're currently in. And then depending on if you are in a common, uncommon or rare, you will also find higher tier metals or different colored metals. And then you will also find some form of keystone fragment. In the common tiers you will only find keystone fragments of the same type. So I'm currently in a forest world, so I'm only seeing forest keystones. If I was in an uncommon forest, I would be able to see keystones of all of the different biomes, and I could then use this to make my way through to the Arctic or to the jungle or wherever else it is I want to be. As early as you can, make 2 metal pickaxes, because these things make mining a whole lot faster. If you use different metals in your pickaxes, they will have different speeds and different durabilities, but that is up for you to have a look at and explore yourself. Decor items in worlds can be smashed to give some small amount of material. Often it's a percentage chance, so you won't get something on every single break, but you will eventually get at least one of a base material contained inside the object. There's also rumored that breaking things with pickaxes, while slower, does actually yield more material out of broken decor items. The fastest way to get wood and easiest way to get wood is to break it out of these brown, yellow and blue kind of crash looking pieces. Now these things, one hit will give you 3 wood of a particular type, and if you use pickaxes you also get 3 wood. In Sky Saga, as important as food is for regenerating health, there's also 13 colours of pretty much everything in the game. And anything that is a non-meat food item usually has 2 colours associated with it, which means that you can have 13 colours for the body and then 13 colours for the stem, leading to loads of combinations of food items. Now, these guys, as you probably saw before when we were talking about combat, anything that is non-meat only gives a very small amount of health regen. So you want to think very carefully about which items you start taking out of a world. If your rucksack starts filling up, I would suggest ditching any non-meat food items. A double chest has over twice the amount of space in it that a single chest does. However, a double chest is actually quite a lot more expensive, as you can see. That is all the materials you need for a double chest, and then that's all the materials you need for a single chest. However, you can go out and buy double chests from the Settlers Guild with Settler Guild points. Finally, if you do a whole lot of building and you run out of space on your home island, or you just don't like the biome that you started in, you can actually come out over here. So this is the airship of the Settlers Guild, and there is a new home island trader over here, and you can buy yourself a whole bunch of new home islands. Now, as you can see, there are 3 deserts, a forest and a jungle today. There is also Arctic versions in here, and there are a whole bunch of different preset, pre-built islands ready to go. But then there's also these things called bedrock, which only have a floating 3x3 cube of indestructible blocks. And then there is a wasteland, which is just a blank island with no structures of any kind. So that is it. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope those tips are going to help out. Now, that is not absolutely everything you need to know. These are just some of the things I think you need to get up and running here in Sky Saga Alpha 6. This also didn't include any of the stuff that you should have been able to learn in the tutorials. Of course, this isn't all of the beginner's tips that we can absolutely put across. There are some more, and I have left those in a forum post. Now, this is my final and biggest tip here for Sky Saga Alpha 6. Jump across to the forum and join in with the community, because we have a very huge and very active and very awesome community here to Sky Saga. Everybody's really awesome. Everybody I've met so far has been really friendly and really helpful. So jump across to the forum. There's a link in the description. If you haven't already, sign yourself up for the forum and join in the discussion. Ask questions, get involved, and just enjoy your time here in Sky Saga Alpha 6. Alright guys, that is it for this week, and I will see you next time.